Is AI coming for engineering jobs? Mark Zuckerberg says maybe. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. Zuckerberg has been on a media tour defending the decision of Meta to stop fact-checking, and as part of a larger conversation with Joe Rogan, he discussed how AI could impact engineering roles at companies like Meta. On that show, he said, probably in 2025, we at Meta, as well as other companies that are basically working on this, are going to have an AI that can effectively be sort of a mid-level engineer that you have at your company that can write code. Business Insider continues, it may initially be an expensive endeavor, but Zuckerberg said Meta will reach the point where all of the code in its apps and the AI it generates will also be done by AI. Meanwhile, Bloomberg is predicting that Wall Street could lose as many as 200,000 jobs to AI over the next 3 to 5 years. This comes from a survey of chief information and technology officers surveyed by Bloomberg Intelligence, who said that on average they expect a net 3% of their workforce to be cut. They honed in on back office, middle office, and operational roles, as well as customer service changes. Bloomberg Intelligence analyst wrote, any jobs involving routine, repetitive tasks are at risk. But AI will not eliminate them fully, rather it will lead to workforce transformation. One of the big things that we are watching for, certainly at Superintelligent, is to what extent this plays out on a task-by-task basis versus a role-by-role basis. It's clear that for some time AI is going to be better at certain tasks than it is at entire roles, and that gives a window, even outside of the general human and corporate inertia, which will also slow things down, where the design of jobs might change fundamentally to adapt to this new reality. There's definitely bullishness in this report. 80% of respondents said that they expect generative AI to increase productivity and revenue generation by at least 5% in the next 3 to 5 years, ultimately just a reflection of the increased discourse around this particular question. An interesting article out of TechCrunch, that publication surveyed 20 venture capitalists in an attempt to figure out what gives an AI startup a moat. AI startups took in $100 billion in venture capital dollars last year, almost a third of all fundraising. And there are big questions around what gives companies defensibility. Even OpenAI has maybe its strongest moat based on brand right now, rather than having a huge lead in model sophistication, especially not if you consider how fast other companies catch up. Responding to TechCrunch's survey, almost half of VCs said the thing that gives AI startups a moat is the quality of their proprietary data. In terms of trying to get specific around what might give someone a moat, Jason Mendel from Battery Ventures said, I'm looking for companies that have deep data and workflow moats. Access to unique proprietary data enables companies to deliver better products than their competitors, while a sticky workflow or user experience allows them to become the core system of engagement and intelligence that customers rely on daily. Scott Bichuk, a partner at Norwest Venture Partners, said that proprietary data is especially important for startups trying to build vertical solutions, which is obviously a key part of the emerging agent market. I noticed this article because it's also reflected in a lot of the chatter that I'm seeing in places like Twitter, where first-round partner Liz Wessel writes, it feels like once a month I hear of yet another startup that claims to be building AI sales reps or SDRs. They all get to 1 million annual recurring revenue in impressive time, 1 month, 3 months, and then stall out later due to insanely high and unsustainable churn. Curious to see which of these companies is still around in 3 years and have managed to retain customers and how. The piece of this that I'm most interested in, subjectively, is definitely on the high end. This is one thing that we talk about with enterprises all the time. Are the models themselves completely commoditized? And if so, what reason do you have to make different decisions about who you work with? It's extra interesting now heading into the era of agents, as companies are going to be forced to decide, do we go with a highly specialized vertical solution, maybe from a smaller company, or do we think that generalist agents from the big frontier labs are just going to take all of that out in so little time that it doesn't make sense to invest in an intermediate solution? These are the kind of decisions that people are weighing back and forth all the time right now, making it an extremely dynamic space. On that theme of proprietary data, Bloomberg reports that AI labs are paying up for unused video footage shot by content creators. They report that OpenAI, Google, and Moon Valley have been paying hundreds of YouTubers for access to their unpublished videos. The companies are paying between $1 and $4 per minute of footage, with high-fidelity drone and 3D animation videos attracting a premium. The video is considered valuable for training data as it hasn't been posted online, and therefore isn't contained in existing training sets. Now, the obvious conclusion of this is that the labs are already at a point where every video on the internet has been ingested. It also implies that all of that publicly available video isn't enough to hit the scaling limit of pre-training, as seems to be happening with language models. Dan Levitt, Senior Vice President of Creators at talent agency Wasserman, said, it's an arms race and they all need more footage. I see a window in the next couple of years where licensing footage is lucrative for creators who are open to doing so. But I don't think that window is going to last that long. Finally today, lots of people are excited to see OpenAI appear to be building out their new robotics and consumer hardware division. 2 months ago, the company scooped Caitlin Kalinowski, a veteran hardware designer who most recently led the Orion AR glasses team at Meta. OpenAI has now posted a string of robotics-focused jobs ads to build a team around Kalinowski. They're looking for a systems integration electrical engineer to, quote, help us with the design sensor suite for our robots, mechanical robotics product engineer to create gears, actuators, motors, and linkages for robots. And the job listings also describe the overall goal, stating, our robotics team is focused on unlocking general-purpose robotics and pushing towards AGI-level intelligence in dynamic real-world settings. Working across the entire model stack, we integrate cutting-edge hardware and software to explore a broad range of robotic form factors. We strive to seamlessly blend high-level AI capabilities with the physical constraints of physical. My guess is that in 2025, as agentic starts to come online, we're going to start then to hear about embodied agentic in the form of robots and have these industries converge quite a bit more. One thing we didn't get with this announcement is any information around whether any of this has to do with the potential collaboration between Sam Altman and Johnny Ive. Will that actually turn into anything? We will just have to wait and see. For now, that's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.